It's 10:30. Let's jump into what's on your mind on this Wednesday morning. We've got the four candidates for the three positions on the South Jacksonville Village Board. It's Kim Wilson, Greg Nelson, Dick Samples, and Paula Belobrajdic-Stewart. If you've got questions, here's the way this works. Call 243-4351. You're not going on the air. They'll be screened off the air. They'll be given to me, and then we'll try to work them in as best we can. I'm the last judge. If you got a problem with that, well, you can talk to me after the program. We'll go in order here, and each person will be asked the same question. Try to make it as fair as we possibly can. So stay tuned. What's on your mind? South Jacksonville Village Board, back after these messages. It's the start of the program this morning. Again, our three trustee candidates in the studios with us this morning. Four candidates for three positions. Thanks, Dick. Dick Samples, Greg Nelson, Kim Wilson, and Paula Belobrajdic-Stewart. And we'll start from left to right, which means nothing for the folks listening, but it does to me because I can do that and keep track of things. So we'll start with Greg first. And the first question is rather easy. It's for you, Greg. Why are you running?
Well, I'm running because I started to learn more about how the village works a couple years ago and was concerned about it. And as my wife and I had just a few years before that, decided to settle in South Jacksonville. Sorry, there's a book up here. Settle in South Jacksonville, where we would raise our family. And so then by this point, my son was just like almost 6 months, and it was concerning to me. I wanted to raise him in a good community, a place he could be proud of. And over the last 2 years, I've come to realize that best way I can help is to be a trustee and help with the decision-making process and help with making sure things are done above board going forward. And you know that's pretty much why I'm doing it.
All right, next question goes to Dick Samples first, and let's jump right into it. In your opinion, did South Jacksonville Board handle the discipline of Police Chief Josh Hallett correctly in the subsequent action? Greg?
Well, I kind of have a similar answer to Dick. I don't have all the information, and I don't have, just everything that Kim and Paula have. So I have a hard time saying anything about it just based on speculation and things people have told me that I don't know for sure are accurate. But I trust that the trustees, who I believe made a unanimous decision to reinstate Chief Halleck, I trust that they made the right decision, and that's because that's all I can do.
All right, next question goes to Paula first, and this has to do, and you've already talked about it. The question is fairly simple. How far should the village board go in pursuing discipline against the person responsible for leaking the legal memorandum to the Jacksonville Journal-Courier, and we received it too? Mr. Nelson?
Well, I believe that any investigation should go to the fullest extent. It's my understanding that leaking that document at the time it was leaked, fully unredacted, is illegal, and I don't think anybody is above the law, not in any position, office, amount of wealth, anything. And so if you committed a crime, then you should be held accountable for that. And this particular crime affected a man's reputation and his future livelihood, possibly. And so that is, I guess, an extra reason to take it very seriously. And I do believe that some government leaks can be important when a government is doing something wrong and a person, is a whistleblower and they expose that. That can be very important. But in this case, it's not, from my understanding, not the same thing. It was just wrong. And I'd like to see it taken as far as it can go.
243-4351. Again, we'll take your call off the air and pass along any questions they have for their guests. We're back with the rest of the program after this timeout. Back on the program, again, 4 candidates for the 3 trustee positions this morning. Don't give me any more hand signals. I'm confused enough as it is. I think the next question goes to Kim first. And this talks a little bit about what you guys have talked about before. Is the village board offering sufficient transparency right now? And if not, how can the board improve that? Mr. Nelson?
Well, I think that the village as a whole is doing the legal bare minimum of communicating with the public. The agendas go out right on time. The minutes are from meetings that are approved or posted right on time. Any notice that needs to be given is given. But I think that I think in general that's probably not enough. But I think right now, especially with what I see to be the biggest issue that the village faces right now being pretty complete loss of the public trust. I believe that the village should be going above and beyond in every possible way to communicate with the public, whether that's having more regularly scheduled meetings that we all talked about during one of the candidate forums, having regular monthly committee meetings instead of having them as needed. And I think that utilizing an opt-in program for telephone alerts, similar to the way the school district uses the school messenger to communicate with parents, would be an excellent way to get out information. And it wouldn't just be, here's a meeting, here's this other official thing, but if there's a boil order, it could go out over that. And if it's if there's any other kind of notice about an emergency road work that's closed down Vandalia for a block, that can go out, and it would just be really great for the village to get this information as soon as possible, and for the residents to get the information, and for the village to be just as I guess for them to be more oversharers, the way people talk about it on social media.
Very go to you next with the next question. It has to do with economic development in the village. What more do you think the village can do to spur economic development in South Jacksonville?
Well, I'm not as knowledgeable about this aspect as the three other people sitting here who've had experience actually doing it. But I do believe that with the land that the village has near the highway, I think it's the villages anyway, that is ripe for development by by businesses, and not just as like an office park or warehouses or something like that, but it would be a great place for the village to maybe go after a Meijer or a Hy-Vee, a type of grocery store we don't already have in town, because I doubt a Walmart would want to double up in a community our size. But to get somebody like that in there, because it would be, we'll use Meijer for an example. Meijer has gas stations along with the grocery stores, and it would be an opportunity for, for there to be another gas station to attract people coming off the highway. But then it would also be, a great grocery store plus, where the residents of South Jacksonville could obviously shop closer to home and spend their tax dollars in the village, and then also our neighboring communities to the south, Woodson, Murrayville, Whitehall, they would have another place to go that would be closer to them. I work in Waverly, and a lot of people that I work with that live in Waverly talk about they go grocery shopping at Walmart here in Jacksonville, and that's not just 25 minutes from Waverly to the edge of town, but then it's another 15 minutes or whatever to get across Jacksonville to Walmart, depending on how you hit the lights.
You can stop in County Market on the way.
Well, you could, yeah. So anyway, with that respect, I think it would be more convenient for people to come in there and not have to go all the way through town if they don't want to. And so I think that would be an excellent type of development.
All right, very good. I say that just because County Market advertises with us.
Oh, okay.
Thank you. We're out of time. Outside of me misnumbering the candidates, 3 instead of 4, and nearly skipping over Paula. Good program. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
We're out of time. WLDS Jacksonville. It is 11 o'clock.